Hey folks, it's Ardwulf. Welcome. We're going to do a unboxing. This is a buddy unboxing today, and we're doing less than 60 miles. A friend of mine ordered this as thinking that it was going to replace the legendary Central Front series from Strategy and Tactics, and let me have it for unboxing purposes. So we have here is we have a big bit of a ding here because he did not buy this from Thin Red Line Games. He bought this from, I think, Noble Knight. Blank box back, and it looks like we have a double, something bumped into it here. Actually, we got a little crease here too, but I'm not sure he paid full price for it. So, and it's about a 2-inch thick box. Yeah, roughly a 2-inch thick box, but the top doesn't quite meet the bottom, which is interesting. Okay, so let's see what we got here. We got a deck of cards, Central Front, Northegg Crisis. These are in a little thing, so let's actually take a look at them. What these do, these look like they're just events, actually. It's like, are there two different decks? There are two different decks of what look to be about 30 or 40 cards, maybe 30 cards a piece, something like that, maybe 25. And they appear to be just events. So it doesn't look to me, based on what I know of this series, which is not much, that this is a card-driven thing. More like card-assisted. If you're going to have your random events be on cards, that's a great idea in my opinion. We have a roll of baggies. We have two fairly nice deluxe feeling 10-sided dice here. And quite a bit of stuff. Actually, the box is relatively full. So we have a scenarios and designers notes, clearly a European format. This is a European company. This is, of course, a 2019 release, designed by Fabrizio Vianello and Marco Cimino. And it looks like we have roughly a 30-page rulebook here, or scenario book, as the case may be. 28 pages, mostly single column. Looks like a lot of scenarios, actually. Well, maybe not that many. So we have 1, 2, 3 scenarios, plus 2 campaigns. Okay. Well, that should be fine. I mean, this is like one in a series. This is the C3 series. This is Module 1, the Folded Gap. And I think the new one's going to be put up for pre-order from Thin Red Line Games relatively soon. Like, they have an electronic warfare consultant. That's pretty fantastic. All right, and here's the rule book, which is a little thicker feeling. This is 36 pages. And again, we're in this one column. Not a fan of the one column format, but that's not something I'm gonna like write a nasty letter to them over either. Sequence of play. And this is a more or less tactical or grand tactical game. This page intentionally left blank. And here is a display that I think is intended to help manage ground combat. Here is the U.S. 5th Corps Order of Battle, which is pretty cool. See, you got some West German units in here. Here is the Central Front Order of Battle. Here is a time track. And looks like doubles as a like universal general records track thing too. This is interesting, actually. It's always interesting to me when companies do this. This is the player aid, and it is a booklet with postures and bombardment tables and a ground combat table and disengagement tables and a lot of tables. So it's like, this is like an 8-page, is that right? Yeah, it's like an 8-page player aid card in booklet format. So the alternative here is to do, your player aid cards on cards, but if you're going to do an 8-pager, then you would need at least 4 cards, or maybe 2 11x17 cards. Maybe this is a better way to do it. It's a good question. These might get beat up pretty badly too, but you could, normally I would say you could photocopy these, but I have a reason to think that these are not going to photocopy particularly well. The print is relatively small and they have this kind of matte background to them. But then maybe something you can download. We have it one map. It's a one map game, and I've seen the map online. Now, there are some folks that don't like the map style that Thin Red Line has sort of established with their couple of releases so far. I am not one of those folks. I actually rather like this map style. I think it's distinct. It is a little dark and high saturation, I think. This map is would be considered very unusual for a U.S. printed game. It's almost got like a plasticine type of coating on it that makes it feel quite slick and nice. Some of these things like the Kinsig, so like the river names, are a little hard to read here. The text, I think, does not really pop. Other than that, I don't really see much of a problem with the art as such. It's just what it takes to get used to, though, because you got Frankfurt in here that's kind of built up. This almost looked like a lake here to me for a minute. Here's Fulda itself, of course. But the paper quality is really quite nice, and I like it quite a bit. And it is a 10-section map, too, which is unusual. So presumably it is a map measured in centimeters and not inches, because in Italy they are civilized. It used the metric system. And then we have 6 counter sheets. So map-wise, this is not that big of a game, but in terms of counter sheets, it's quite large. And these are larger than normal counters. These look like about, I'm sure, again, that they're measured in millimeters, but they look like about 5/8 inch counters. So they're definitely oversized. The stock is a white core, not super duper thick, but not super duper thin either. I'd say about average. And they have also, like the map, they have a sort of coating on them, like a semi-matte coating on them that I really quite like. Here's counter sheet number 5. These are not particularly stunning counters. Counter sheet number 4. And it does kind of look like there are 2 counter sheets of units and the rest of them are counter sheets of markers. And here are our 2 counter sheets of markers. Here's our Warsaw Pact units, mostly Soviet as far as I could tell. There's definitely some little bit of registration issues right in here. Not necessarily a big deal, but there's some clear registration problems. Not in evidence at all on counter sheet number 1, which has the same thing where the color break happens like right along the edge, and on counter sheet number 1 it's dead on the edge. On counter sheet number 2 it is not. Nevertheless, I like the feel of these counters. I've always been a fan of the old SPI counters that had that sort of matte finish that I really liked. Nobody else has really had counters quite that matte. These actually are a little bit close. It's not quite matte. In this case, it feels more like a coating than it's just on a matte stock. But I really do kind of like the way these counters feel. So hopefully this will, and I think there's a pretty good chance, knowing the local folks as I do, I think there's a fairly good chance that this will hit a table at some point. Less than 60 miles, first in a series of games on this sort of central front topic from Thin Red Line Games. Looks fairly interesting. Can't wait to get my hands on some more of their stuff. So thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click the little bell icon to get notified when new content appears. If you'd like to support Ardwulf's Lair, that would be awesome. You can do so by sharing the video around. That would help a great deal. Or you can check out the Patreon in the video description. Until next time, happy wargaming. Thanks for watching.